The night the rap industry changed forever started with the roar in Philadelphia that could be heard all the way in Los Angeles. Cardi B did not just perform a concert, she executed a professional takeover that left her rivals in the dust and the truth out in the open. The world watched as the hero of this story took the stage and did the one thing the villain feared most. She brought out Meek Mill in his own hometown. This was not a random guest appearance. It was a calculated strike against a manipulator who has tried to control the narrative for over a decade. The receipts show that this move was the final nail in the coffin for a career that is currently in a state of total meltdown. While the villain was busy typing rants on social media, the hero was busy making history and proving who the real queen of the industry is. Nicki Minaj is currently facing a career crisis that she cannot escape. The numbers do not lie. Her latest tour data shows a massive decline in ticket sales, and her reputation among her peers is at an all-time low. For years, she used her power to keep other women down and dictate who could work with whom. But that era of fear is officially over. When Cardi B walked onto that stage in Philadelphia, she was not just there to rap. She was there to show the world that the villain's influence has evaporated. The contract for this performance proves that Cardi is now the primary draw for major promoters. The crowd's reaction to Meek Mill was the ultimate proof that the bridge between Nicki and the industry has been burned beyond repair. The tension between these two started years ago, but it reached a boiling point during this specific show. We now have the direct evidence of how the villain reacted behind the scenes. While the hero was celebrating a successful set, the villain was allegedly spiraling in private. The truth is finally out about the sabotaging tactics Nicki tried to use leading up to this moment. She attempted to use her connections to stop this collaboration from happening, but those connections are no longer working. The industry has chosen a side, and they have chosen the professional over the manipulator. The records show that promoters are tired of the drama and the constant legal threats that come with working with the villain. The history of this feud is filled with the villain's attempts to rewrite the facts. She has tried to portray herself as a mentor who was betrayed, but the receipts prove the opposite. The emails and texts from industry executives show a pattern of bullying and gatekeeping. Nicki Minaj tried to make it impossible for Cardi B to succeed from day one. She used her fan base to attack Cardi's family and her brand deals, but the hero stayed focused on the work. Cardi B's rise was not an accident. It was the result of a professional who refused to be bullied by a fading star who was desperate to stay relevant. The Philly concert was the ultimate power move because of Meek Mill's history. As everyone knows, Meek was once in a high-profile relationship with the villain. That relationship ended in a messy public split that showed the world exactly how manipulative the villain can be. By bringing him out, Cardi B sent a clear message. She showed that she has the respect of the people who know the villain best. Meek Mill's appearance was a silent testimony to the truth. He stood next to the hero and showed the world that he no longer fears the villain's wrath. This was a moment of vindication for every person the villain has ever tried to silence. The financial data confirms that the hero is winning the war of the bank accounts. Cardi B's brand deals are at an all-time high, with companies like Shots and major fashion houses. These brands want to be associated with someone who is professional and reliable. On the other hand, the villain's brand value has plummeted. Her constant public outbursts and her inability to stay out of legal trouble have made her a liability. The truth is that major corporations are distancing themselves from her meltdown. They see the writing on the wall. The villain is the architect of her own destruction, and her bank account is starting to reflect that reality. The legal battle behind the scenes is even more intense than what we see on social media. The court documents from various lawsuits show a pattern of behavior that is truly shocking. The villain has been accused of witness intimidation and harassment in multiple cases. These are not rumors. These are legal facts that are on the record in a court of law. While the hero is building a legacy, the villain is fighting to stay out of serious legal trouble. The contrast between their two lives could not be more obvious. One is moving forward with grace and success. The other is stuck in a cycle of bitterness and litigation. The sabotaging did not stop with Cardi B. The evidence shows that the villain tried to block multiple female artists from rising up. She would tell labels that she would not work with them if they signed certain people. This is a classic manipulator tactic. She wanted to be the only one at the top, so she could control the entire industry. But the receipts show that the labels are no longer listening. They see that the hero brings in more money and less drama. The shift in power is permanent. The villain's reign of terror over the charts is officially at an end. When we look at the footage from the Philly show, the energy is undeniable. The hero is in total control of the crowd. She is smiling and confident because she knows she has already won. The villain was likely watching from home, fueled by jealousy and regret. The truth is that the villain could have been a legend if she had chosen to be a mentor instead of a bully, but her ego would not allow it. She chose to start a war she could not win. Now she has to live with the consequences of her choices. The industry has moved on and she has been left behind in the dust. The breakdown of the villain's team is another major sign of her downfall. Many of her longtime collaborators and staff members have quietly walked away. They are tired of the toxic environment and the constant demands for loyalty in a one-sided relationship. The hero, however, has a loyal and professional team that has been with her since the beginning. This shows the difference between a real leader and a manipulator. People stay with the hero because they respect her. They leave the villain because they are tired of being used as pawns in her petty games. The social media receipts are also very telling. The villain spends hours every day arguing with fans and critics. This is the behavior of someone who is deeply insecure and losing their grip on reality. The hero rarely engages in these low-level battles. She lets her music and her business deals do the talking. The truth is that the hero does not need to defend herself because her success speaks for itself. The villain's constant need to explain and justify her actions is a clear sign that she knows her time is up. She is fighting a losing battle against the facts. The impact of the Meek Mill moment cannot be overstated. In the world of hip-hop, loyalty is everything. By standing with Cardi B, Meek showed that the villain has no loyalty left in her own backyard. This was a public rejection of everything the villain stands for. The receipts show that this guest spot was kept a total secret until the very last second. This was done to prevent the villain from trying to interfere. The hero knew exactly how the villain would react, and she stayed 10 steps ahead of her. This is how a professional wins a war. The legal forensics of the villain's latest contracts show that she is being forced to accept much lower rates than before. Promoters are adding behavior clauses to her deals because they are afraid she will have another meltdown and cancel a show. The hero does not have these issues. Her contracts are clean and her fees are increasing every year. The financial gap between the two is widening every single day. The truth is that the hero is a better investment for everyone involved. The villain has become too expensive and too risky to deal with. The narrative that the villain is a victim of the industry is a total lie. The records prove that she was given every opportunity to succeed and stay at the top. She was given the biggest budgets and the best features, but she used those resources to attack others instead of building herself up. The hero started with much less and had to fight for every inch of her success. She faced the villain's bullying and the industry's doubt, and she still came out on top. This is why the fans connect with her so deeply. She is a real person who overcame a manipulator's plot. The meltdown we are seeing now is just the beginning. As more receipts come out about the villain's past behavior, the backlash will only get worse. There are reports of more former associates preparing to speak out about the truth. The villain's house of cards is falling down, and there is nothing she can do to stop it. She can post as many pictures as she wants, but the public can see through the mask. The truth is finally out, and it is not pretty. The villain's legacy will be one of missed opportunities and unnecessary drama. The hero's future is looking brighter than ever. She is currently working on new music and expanding her business empire into new territories. She has shown that you can be successful without being a bully. She has shown that professionalism always wins in the end. The Philly concert was a celebration of that truth. It was a moment of joy for the fans and a moment of terror for the villain. The crown was not stolen, it was earned through hard work and a refusal to back down from the truth. The final receipts show that the villain's influence on the charts has completely vanished. Her latest releases have failed to reach the top spots that she once occupied with ease. Meanwhile, the hero continues to dominate the airwaves and the streaming platforms. The numbers are the ultimate objective fact. They show that the audience has made their choice. They prefer the hero's authenticity over the villain's manipulation. The era of the villain is over, and the era of the hero is just getting started. The cost of the villain's lies has been her entire career. She thought she was untouchable and that she could treat people however she wanted, but the truth always finds a way to the surface. The Philadelphia show was the moment the world saw the truth in real time. The hero is moving on to bigger and better things, while the villain is stuck in the past, fighting old battles that she has already lost. The receipts are clear and the evidence is overwhelming. There is no coming back from this kind of professional defeat.